The long-awaited Planning and Development Act 2024 was signed into law on the 17th of October 2024. While it has been signed into law, it's important to note that the Planning and Development Act 2000 will continue to apply until repealed, and the new provisions of the 2024 Act are commenced by way of ministerial order. The Act is expected to be rolled out in increments over the next 18 months. It will introduce transformative reforms to streamline Ireland's planning system. The Act includes measures to reduce delays, ensure greater transparency, and provide more certainty to stakeholders. It introduces statutory timelines for decision-making by planning authorities, which should help accelerate projects for delivery. For developers and investors, this reform could significantly mitigate the time and cost risks traditionally associated with planning in Ireland. The government is formed, and it is no surprise that housing dominates the agenda of the Programme for Government 2025. The government target is 300,000 new homes by the end of 2030. In 2025, we hope to see an enhanced collaboration between public bodies and private developers to deliver housing at scale. Initiatives such as Croí Cónaithe represent a compelling opportunity for developers to engage in public-private partnerships and to contribute to solving a critical societal issue while also creating business value. Government has reaffirmed its commitment to social housing and its intention to work with local authorities to build, on average, 12,000 new social homes per year. Infrastructure investment is also a key focus for the government, which is critical to foster economic growth, development, and to achieve our climate goals. The government plans to establish a dedicated infrastructure division within the Department of Public Expenditure, Public Service Reform and Digitalisation. The division will prioritise strategic project selection, streamline processes, and ensure alignment with the National Development Plan. The first liability date for residential zoned land tax is fast approaching on the 1st of February 2025, with payments due by the 23rd of May this year. Residential zone land tax is an annual tax calculated at 3% of the market value of land within its scope. Generally, the Act applies to land that, on or after the 1st of January 2022, is zoned as being suitable for residential development and is serviced. An owner of land which was zoned as suitable for residential development and serviced on the 1st of January 2022, and on which development has not commenced before the 1st of February 2025, may be liable to file a return and pay the tax on or before the 23rd of May 2025. There are certain deferral abatement mechanisms which may apply, but landowners need to be mindful of the approaching deadlines. The government published the Land Zoning Value Sharing Bill in October 2024. Discussion on land value sharing levies have been ongoing for a number of years, and under the Programme for Government 2025, it does appear that government will move forward to look to introduce it. The levy will enable the state to receive some of the uplift in value of lands rezoned for certain types of development, with the amount of the levy being 25% of the zoning value of the land in question. Subject to the bill being enacted into law, developers may need to consider factoring these costs into developing land for residential, mixed, commercial or industrial use, or within a strategic development zone. The Screening of Third Countries Transactions Act 2023 introduces a mandatory review process for foreign investments in certain Irish real estate. The Act applies to transactions involving critical infrastructure, sensitive locations, or assets deemed strategic to national security or public order. Notifications must be submitted to and approved by the Minister prior to completing the relevant transactions, and the screening process may take up to 90 days or longer for particularly complex cases. In summary, 2025 is shaping up to be a pivotal year for Ireland's built environment sector. With more efficient planning processes under the Planning and Development Act, incentives for unlocking housing delivery from government, a renewed emphasis on social housing and infrastructure investment, the sector is positioned for sustainable growth. These developments, while presenting some challenges, also present opportunities for stakeholders who are ready to adapt and innovate.